it's not a formula. It's not formulaic. It's a process, but it's not 1 + 1 = 2. Sometimes it's 1 + 1 = 5 or 1 + 4
= -10.
Yeah, there is a process to get you to an outcome, but it may not be the outcome you want, or it may not be the thing you thought it would be. I just want to throw this stat out. Dyson Vacuums, which everyone knows, it's in Target, it's everywhere. 5,271 prototypes before he found a vacuum that worked.
And he's never taken venture money. He uses debt to finance all his companies.
Smart way to do it.
If you're willing to take all the risk by yourself.
Yes.
Right?
And if you have that as an option,
right.
Myself personally, I am a fabricator and machinist and welder, and I understand metal. My prototypes, on another podcast, I'll tell you what I've spent to date. You know what it is.
I told you that number a long time ago.
You did tell me that number a long time ago. But if I couldn't do that, you could probably double that. But you as an individual have to think about, am I going to spend my time becoming a machinist, fabricator, welder, all these things, or am I going to focus on the market and hire someone like me? And same thing with the marketing and the consulting. Bob knows how to do it and all that kind of, and his crew. And that's what it's about. It's about building that team to get you through. If you have to make 5,271 prototypes, to make sure you're focusing on the right things. Because if Dyson focused on, how do I make this really good at cleaning ceilings? Nobody cares about using a vacuum to clean your ceiling, right? I don't know, man, that's a whole new market.
That could be a whole new market.
Yeah.
Somebody has to clean ceilings.
But if you're going to make 5,000 prototypes, you better be focusing on the right features.
Right.
And you only know that if you know the benefits you're trying to create, and you only know that if you know your product market fit.
And I think if we're going to wrap this up, when the bikes and the motorcycles become successful, people will say you're an instant success because they didn't see the 10 or 15 years that it took to get there. But the other disservice of social media and even other successful entrepreneurs and inventors do is they don't share their failures enough, right? I was in articles because I was one of the only people the journalists could talk to that would talk about their failures, not how great they were.
And that was one of the reasons we hit it off immediately, because I said to you, I'm thinking about doing this. And you said, you do whatever you want, but I did that and this is how it worked out for me.
Right.
And that immediately won me over forever. You know what I mean? So, and that's one of the reasons we're doing this now, is we'll always talk about that.
Right. But the disservice is they want to change the narrative because they want to think or they want to feel as important as their success, even though their success is only there because of the failure.
Yeah.
Right.
And if you're not willing to talk about the failure, or if you say to me, I haven't had failure, I've had these little failures, I immediately discount everything you say after that because I don't believe you.
Were you at that meeting where that group said, we've never had an unsuccessful investment? Were you there? And they said,
go ahead.
Wait, I won't say where it was.
Yeah. Maybe I was then because
I think you were there and they said, we've never had an unsuccessful investment.
Yeah. That's bullshit.
Well, of course it is.
And the fact that you would make that statement is bullshit because you have 100% win rate.
You were there. It was the building company. And their investor said, I only invest in companies that I've only made money on.
Yeah.
And I was like, then you should write a book or make a movie because it sounds like it's a fable.
Yeah. These are my 10 steps to instant success. It's bullshit.
Nice.
Yeah.
I only need 2.
Hey man, good. We'll hold that for another episode. What the 2
I'll
steps
share it
are.
because it doesn't work. Okay.
There is no but this is, I'll wrap it up on this, but we talk about what we do in the incubator, what we do as a team, what Bob's team does, what we do here. As much as we have a process, I want to be clear about, in my opinion, you can push back on me, but it's not a formula. It's not formulaic. It's a process, but it's not 1 + 1 = 2. Sometimes it's 1 + 1 = 5 or 1 + 4
= -10.
Yeah, there is a process to get you to an outcome, but it may not be the outcome you want, or it may not be the thing you thought it would be. I always thought I would build a bicycle. I never thought it would be the larger market. It's the larger market for sure, no matter how you slice it, and And that's what we try to get to, is the process that we know works to get you to a product market fit, for you to then make the decision of, I do or I don't want to do this.